Hello YouTube! So I went to Stockholm for the weekend and visited some friends because that's where I used to live before I moved into my parents' house. And I told myself when I left that I will not go into a bookstore because if I do, I know what will happen. But the thing is that my friends love books as much as I do, so we kind of ended up spending an entire day walking around different bookshops, and I kind of spent a lot of money and I kind of bought a lot of books. So because of that, I'm gonna make a book haul. And I do apologize for the shitty lighting, but my lamp just broke. And I am too lazy to fix it, so you will just have to deal with my window light. Hence, the very bright side of my face. So the first book that I picked up is actually a novella. It's this one. It's, what is it called? En löjlig människas dröm by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I do not know what the English title for this book is, since the original title is in Russian, and I don't know if that's how you say his name in English, but it's the same author that wrote Crime and Punishment, so it's kind of a classic, and I've been wanting to read him for a while. I actually have another book by him somewhere. But I decided that this is really short, so maybe I can deal with this first and then I will deal with the other book. After that, I picked up these two books, which is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and the sequel to that book, which is Hollow City, and they're by Ransom Riggs. I have decided to make June a month where I only read series, finish series that I've already started, and start series that I have and really want to get into. And I've been wanting to read these for a long while now, so I just decided to pick them up while I was in a bookstore, and they were kind of cheap, so I just did that. I hope they're good, but I've heard so many good things about them, so I don't think that they will disappoint me in any way. Then I continued on my series team, and I picked up this, which is Eld, or in English, Fire. It's the second book in the Engel Force series, and I don't know who wrote this. Mats Sandberg and Sara Bergman Elfgren. It's a Swedish book originally, and they've been really huge lately. I've seen them all over the internet, but the English versions, obviously. And I feel like I'm Swedish, they're Swedish, I should read them. And the reason for picking the second book up is because I already own the first book. I just haven't read it yet, and I want to have this just in case I like it, so I can just dive right into it. And I did have a free book to pick up at the store, so I chose this one. I also got The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. I actually don't really know what this book is about. I was at the store with a friend, and she saw this book. She told me that book is really great, you should read it. And then I read the blurb, which says, "I'll tell you what happened because it will be a good way to introduce my brother. His name's Simon. I think you're going to like him. I really do. But in a couple of pages he'll be dead." And he was never the same after that. And I really, oh my god, it's a great blurb. I already love this book and I haven't even started it yet. So I just trusted my friend, trusted the blurb, and just picked it up. One of the stores that I went to had a buy 3 books, get 1 for free kind of thing, and I bought 3 books. They told me that I should just choose another one, so I did, and I got this, which is Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. I already read the Twilight series multiple times in Swedish and English, but I only own them in Swedish, and I really wanted Breaking Dawn in English because it's my favorite one of them. So I decided to pick it up just to add it to my collection, basically. I also got Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell, which is the same author that wrote Fangirl, which has been everywhere lately. I do own Fangirl, it's right here. I just haven't read it yet because I haven't felt like it. But I read the blurb of this and I was like, this sounds really interesting. And I do believe that this book and Fangirl will be great. So I just got it so I can read them over the summer. I've been wanting this next book for a really long time. And then I saw it in one of the stores and I was like, they have that here? And I just had to get it. It's Holes by Louis, what's his last name? Sachar. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. I'm sorry if I offend you. It's basically about this boy named Stanley who gets sent to a juvenile detention center and where they have to dig holes in the ground. And the blurb says that the warden of the place claims the labor is character building, but it is a lie. and I'm really looking forward to finding out more about this story because it sounds so abstract in a good way, and I really want to know what's gonna happen, what's the deal with the holes, and I'm probably going to read this very soon. Then we went to a store that I've never been to before, which is weird since I lived in that city for 4 years, but it is now qualified as one of my favorite bookstores of all time. It is not my top one, but it's up there. They only sell sci-fi and fantasy and stuff like that, and the majority of the books are in English. And I realize that doesn't sound like much. If you're from the States or the UK, you're like, the books are always in English. Majority of the books in Sweden are not in English. It's almost impossible to buy the book you want in English in a store in Sweden. You have to get them online. So just walking into this store and realizing that the majority of the books are in English made me kind of freak out a little bit. So one of the books that I got from that store was this. It's Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld. It's the first book in a series. I loved the Ugly series that Scott Westerfeld wrote, so I just felt like I should read something else of him because it will probably be amazing. The second book I bought from that store I was just telling you about was this, which is These Broken Stars, and it's by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I saw this, and it's in hard copy as well. That is rare in Sweden when it comes to English books. And I've been wanting this for so long, and the sequel comes out this year, and I'm just excited. I've already read half of the book, and I'm loving it so far. So yeah, this makes me so happy. Now we only have one book left, and it's a special one. I saved one of the best ones for last. This is a book that I will probably not sit down and read straight through, but it doesn't matter because it's so gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's the complete tales of the Brothers Grimm, and it has red pages and like gold, and like it's beautiful, and it's like cloth bound, and it's making me really happy. And the pages are like kind of like the Bible pages. I don't know if the Bible pages look like this in other places. Anyways, I'm really happy about this book. It looks so good on my shelf, and it's making me so happy. The first person who ever said that you can't buy happiness never loved books. That's for sure. I am going to attempt this tower thing now. I'm probably going to regret it. So the Brothers Grimm, we have These Broken Stars, Leviathan, Holes, Eleanor Park, Breaking Dawn, The Shock of the Fall, Miss Peregrine, Hollow City, Fire, and Fyodor Dostoevsky. This is what happens when I decide not to go into a bookstore. It doesn't work. It never works. That's about everything that I'm going to say today. So have a good life, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!